It's time for local high school football. The 38th season of Hometown Sports with Kerr and Myles Boyns. Sponsored by Alpha Technologies and Alarm Systems, Little Caesars, Mercedes-Benz of Bakersfield, Valley Strong Credit Union, and Golden Empire Transit.
And good evening and welcome to Hometown Sports. I'm Greg Kerr alongside Myles Boyns, and this is our 38th season of bringing you the most games, the most comprehensive highlights, the only one-hour show dedicated to high school football. It's week 15, which translates into championship week, obviously, here in the Central section. And this week we are at Lindsay High School for Division 6, Shafter for Division 4, and right here in town at BCHS for Division 2. Now, later in the show, we're going to break down the state playoff brackets as Frontier and BCHS both move on.
In addition, we have awards such as Athlete of the Week, Players of the Week, Exciting Play, Game-Saving Play, Youth Football, Hits of the Week, Hometown All-Stars, and our Scholar of the Week. And we'll take you to the Patriotic Bowl in Mission Viejo for another close call for the BC Renegades and what proved to be the final game for head coach Todd Littlejohn. You'll hear what Coach Littlejohn had to say as he announced he would not return in 2025.
We have a jam-packed hour just ahead. Before we begin, a huge thank you to our sponsors, Little Caesars Pizza, 15 convenient locations in Kern County. Valley Strong Credit Union. Valley Business is Valley Strong. Alpha Technologies and Alarms, keeping you protected and connected. And Golden Empire Transit. Get Life makes better connecting people to places one ride at a time. And our segment sponsors, many of them with us for a long, long time, like Raymond's Trophies and Awards, Brimhall Dental Group, Golden Empire Youth Football, Accelerated Urgent Care, Brian Hicks Real Estate Group, and Stockdale Podiatry Group. So let's kick off week 15 of our 38th season, and as always, we thank you for joining us.
And throughout the football universe, it's been rivalry week, and there's been no exceptions for even high school, even when a section championship is on the line. Just ask Darren Carr and his BCHS Eagles as they lined up against Central Valley Christian. Last time these two teams faced each other for a section title was back in 2021, where CVC got the upper hand, winning 27-25. CVC won and hosted both regular season and playoff games that year. Fast forward 3 years later, and the roles are reversed. BCHS getting the upper hand in week 3, winning at home 49-28, also hosting the playoff game. Writings on the wall, some would say it's superstitious, and let's take you to the action. Both teams meeting at the 50, the Cavaliers running out, and as well as the home team, the Eagles. We're going to jump to the first quarter. CVC drove down the field. Fourth down, the pass is ruled incomplete, resulting in a turnover on downs. Ensuing drive, BCHS trying to move the rock. There is nowhere to go. Pretty much sums up the first quarter. We're going to jump to the second quarter, where it is still scoreless, but Lincoln Adame finding his groove and finds his favorite target, Andre Calderon, inside the red zone. A couple of plays later, Ethan Eccles evades tackles, and he is getting into the end zone. We're going to take another look at it from ground level. Touchdown BCHS, gives the nod to his older brother, Gavin, who approves. Eagles up 7-0. Next drive, Micah Patton finding his groove, finding openings as well. Gets a good gain for the first down, and they went back to him. He just hits the hole very fast. Almost breaks free right there. Brought down inside the red zone, and all that running paid off as he is going to punch it in for the touchdown. We'll take another look at that play from ground level. With that touchdown run, the Cavaliers tie it up at 7. Meanwhile, Eagles looking to bounce back, and Lincoln Adame, he's going to step in the pocket, finds Jason Gutierrez for the first down. Then later in the drive, Talon Mather is going to find an opening, and he is going to burst through, outrun the defense.
Wow.
33 yards to the end zone. Taking another look from ground level.
Turned on the Jets.
Yep, and it's easy to do it with that hole open wide, that big. Meanwhile, BCHS up 14-7 at the half. Third quarter, CVC to pass, goes through the air, and it is picked off by Avery Jaramillo. He's going to be tripped up shortly after. The Eagles taking full advantage of that turnover. Ethan Eccles running hard, lowers his shoulder for the first down. Playing bulldozer right there. A few plays later, Lincoln Adame rolls out to the end zone. His favorite target, Andre Calderon, in the end zone for the touchdown. Let's take another look. An 8-yard touchdown pass. Wide open right there. BCHS extends their lead 21-7. Next drive, and the Cavaliers cough it up. And BCHS recovers. Ref signaling it right there, and it's number 7, Jacob Mian, who comes up with it. On to the fourth quarter. CVC ball. The heave to the end zone, and it is intercepted by Robert Hernandez. They're telling him to go down so they can get a touchback, which would pay dividends for them. Ensuing drive, the double reverse to Buddha Wallace. And he is showing off his speed, breaking tackles. He's still on his feet. He takes a hit, but not before getting a first down in a nice gain. Now it is Talon time as he breaks free. He is going to be knocked out at about the 2-yard line. The very next play, he makes it count, and he punches it in. BCHS's defense pitches a second-half shutout. They avenge 2021's Valley League championship loss Valley championship loss for the second time this year. The Eagles beat the Cavs by 21 points. This one for the Division II Central Section Championship. Your final score, 28-7.
You earned this. Every single bit of it. You earned it. And I'm proud to be your coach, and your coaches are super proud of you.
It's something that you start in January. You work your tails off. You try and push these guys. They don't understand why sometimes, why you push and yell at them. But they understand now.
Coach Carr just in our head, just motivating us the whole time, telling us we're great and we can do it.
Just pure joy. I'm so happy. The team worked so hard all offseason. Worked out Wednesday, CrossFits. I'm just happy to be here.
All right, 28-7 is your final score. BCHS moves on, which means that regional round, they will be Division 2A Southern Region. They will be on the road taking on Palos Verdes. The game will be played at South Torrance High School. That game will be Saturday at 7 p.m. Pacific time.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about that matchup later in the show. But again, the Eagles on the road to a team that's 9-5. And I looked at some state rankings. It's interesting. Some teams that were ranked lower in the state have home games than teams that are ranked higher in the state. I don't know if there was a certain math to it all, but it's not that was the case here, but I'm just saying that's the case in some of our Central Section teams that are in the playoffs. All right, it is time for our first break. Quick reminder, follow us on X and Instagram at Hometown BAK for all your live updates and scores. Well over 6,000 strong and counting. Coming up, we're heading to Shafter for a Division 4 battle down to the wire. Hometown Sports. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Hometown Sports. The Shafter Generals have known their share of success under head coach Gerald Perucci. They have also known their share of postseason heartbreak. We'll skip the chapter and verse only to say the last 2 seasons ended with the Generals deserving a better fate. This year, hosting an undefeated Coalinga team, the Generals probably deserve better here and there, but they also missed a few opportunities as well. Buckle up, here we go. It's a long one. Take you to Shafter. And Coalinga quarterback Noah Tossi was a handful. Scrambling on the very first possession, a sign of things to come that he extended plays all night long, getting a first down right here. Horned Toads found themselves in the red zone, and the toss to Dylan Teixeira. Great one-handed grab, but they said he was out of bounds. The players coming over saying, no, look at the foot mark right here. Oh, we went over to look at it. You can't really tell anything, but remember that picture there for a moment, because we're going to show it to you later for a different reason. All right, so now, very next play, Tossi to Teixeira, touchdown. So they didn't get it on the other play. They get it on this one, 7-0 Horned Toads on top. Generals first possession. A good dose of this guy, Marion Sloan. Run up the middle, and then Sloan again. Up the middle. And then this happened. A slant into Tremel Spain, who stays down. Spain was diagnosed with a dislocated knee as they brought an ambulance out to attend to Tremel. We certainly wish him a fast recovery. Meanwhile, next play, Ezekiel Osborne and Marion Sloan in a pack of humanity. Somehow he comes out of this mess and goes into the end zone. And we are tied 7-7. Meanwhile, A good look at Toads quarterback Noah Tossi. As we told you, he did a whale of a job. And here, 2 plays after the ensuing kickoff, finds guess who? Dylan Teixeira, who wins the jump ball, back steps, turns around, and outraces everyone. 74 yards for the score, 14-7, Coalinga on top. Later first quarter, Shafter's night, warts and all. Deep ball, can't connect. Oh my goodness. Second quarter, same possession. 4th down, watch this. His first receiver slips, so he extends the play, and Osborne throws to Alex Reyna. Great job by Ezekiel Osborne keeping the play alive, first down. Moments later, another 4th down. And Osborne throws a strike to Marion Sloan. Touchdown. We are tied 14-14. Then what was a rarity in the first half, a 3rd down play that did not complete. This incomplete pass forcing Coalinga to punt. So the Generals get the ball before the half. On this play, the Horned Toads get in the backfield. So the drive stalls and the Generals line up for a field goal. This would put them up by 3. Oh, wide left. And the Coalinga fans are loving it. By the way, the Horned Toads, they even brought this guy, their own DJ. Listen in. He's all fired up. All right, so your first half score, 14-14. That was just a taste of what the second half had to offer. Third quarter, Generals come out firing. Ezekiel Osborne to Adrian Garcia. First down. Same combination. Osborne to Garcia inside the 10. And then Christopher Espinoza just pushing people into the end zone. Shafter takes the first lead of the game, 21-14. Next Coalinga drive. 3rd down and long. Watch this play. Noah Tossi to Dylan Teixeira. They have more than 2 players, but watch this. And that's rule the catch. First guy comes in and says it's a catch. Second guy comes in and says, yeah, it's a catch. Third guy comes in and says, yeah, that's a catch. Let's move on. We want to show it to you again. We're going to stop it the one frame before it gets to him. The next frame, ball looks like it's in between his arms on the ground. Back it up. There's that. And there's that. It looks like there's a brown mark in between the arms right there. We don't have the greatest angle, only one camera there, but that's what we're showing you. And that catch was ruled, and he made a great recovery once the ball was in the air, and a catch by Dylan Teixeira. And they are loving it on their sideline. Then Noah Tossi runs to the goal line and reaches and gets in to the end zone. They are fired up on the Coalinga sideline as the game is now tied at 21 apiece. Remember when we said Shafter deserved better and could have done better? Possible touchdown right here. Oh, my. Oh, my. Very next play. Generals connect this time, and it's stripped away. Fumble, recovered by the Horned Toads. Gerald Perucci says, never had possession. That's an incomplete pass. Well, it was Coalinga ball. You don't win those arguments very often. Later third quarter, Generals on the move again. Ezekiel Osborne to Marion Sloan, great catch. A couple of plays later, Osborne, a dart to Adrian Garcia, and the Generals are on top, but they miss the extra point. It's 27-21. Horned Toads, meanwhile, feeling the pressure to keep pace and score. They go for 4th and 5 at about their own 25, and it's incomplete. Great field position for Shafter. Very next play, Ezekiel Osborne to Dylan Hatton. Touchdown. Generals on top 33-21. They went for 2, didn't get it. Up by 12. Fourth quarter. The Horned Toads turn to their ground game. This is Julius Borjas. Bouncing to the outside. Carrying people with him. Won't go down. And then Noah Tossi to guess who? Anybody? Dylan Teixeira. Touchdown. 33-28. After a pair of 3-and-outs by the Shafter offense, which is odd to see them do that once, they did it twice, and the Toad fans are fired up. Now facing 4th and 8. The game is on the line. 4th and 8. Tossi. First down pass to Teixeira. Now, under 2 minutes ago, Coalinga's out of timeouts. This pass to the corner of the end zone. Marion Sloan with the apparent interception coming down with it. Look at the back official. He's the one like, yeah, it's caught, but the side official says no. And even as we slow it down, we're going to show this to you a number of times. And again, our apologies for only having like one camera angle on this, but as it comes down, and it will speed up a little bit, the foot seems to, we can't tell exactly where he is, but when we close in on this a little bit, you'll see Gerald Perucci says that Sloan told him he had his foot on the gold in the lettering of Generals, which is part of the logo in the end zone and clearly in bounds. After the game, we asked Sloan about the play in question.
That was inbounds. That was inbounds, for sure. That was inbounds. It's all good, though. It is what it is. Can't do nothing about it now.
All right, so here's a freeze frame of the interception. And Sloan's foot appears to be near the blue outline. The defender's left foot, by the way, might even be in the gold right there. A closer look and we lose focus, but Sloan clearly looks to be inbounds and possession of the ball was never in question. Now, at the risk of beating a dead horse, let's go back to that shot earlier of the Coalinga touchdown. You can see how far the blue is from the out of bounds right there, and even the gold, if you can see up in the top left corner. So Marion Sloan, it looked like his foot might have been on the blue. And there's the out-of-bounds marker on the right. That's a good, what, foot, 2 feet? But again, it was ruled incomplete, no interception, and Coalinga keeps possession of the ball. So let's move on. One play after all of that. Touchdown. Tossie to Gavin Watson. Coalinga goes on top 34-33 with just over a minute to play. Shafter's final drive, Ezekiel Osborne, quarterback draw. Gets a first down. They get a quick timeout, their only timeout. Now with 29 seconds to play. Crossing pattern to Garcia, but clock's running. Tick, tick, tick. Got to get up. They down it right there. 11 seconds to go. Then Osborne goes for it all. Downtown, Dylan Teixeira with the interception. And that is that. Coalinga stuns Shafter. 34-33 as the Horned Toads celebrate a 14th straight win. And the Generals are left to ponder yet another heartbreaking loss in the postseason.
I'm proud of my kids for battling. Proud of my seniors. They put a lot into this season here, and just to lose in that way just really stinks. But hats off to Coalinga. You know, when they needed to make a play, they did.
It hurts really bad, you know, especially when we work so hard these long hours all season. But like you said, I wish the outcome was different, but it is what it is now.
I mean, it is what it is. We had crucial mistakes at crucial times, and I mean, when that happens, good teams like Coalinga, they're going to capitalize all the time.
Everybody likes to think we're the underdog, baby, but we show out and we put it up, baby.
All right, so Coalinga does move on as they win by a final of 34-33, and they will play in the 4AA South region. Highland will be coming in. There's a lot of Highlands in California. This one's from down south against Coalinga. Coalinga gets a home game at 14-0, as they probably should, being undefeated. So congratulations to the Horned Toads. But a lot to digest there, yeah? I mean, as far and again, don't want to come across as, you know, first of all, officiating's not easy, and we're not, you know, taking the officials to task. We're just showing what we saw and what we thought was the occurrence. So I thought one of the interesting things was that the referee in the back of the end zone, who was waving like it was caught, he was the side judge on the far side, said he overruled him, and they never had a conversation. He just deferred to him and said, okay, I guess you got that.
That's what I thought too, because he seemed to see that back foot, and he called it right then and there, an interception. But then, like you said, like if you saw the tape, it looked like his feet were on possibly the blue, like a foot or two inbounds. Yeah,
it made me wonder if possession was a problem, but that didn't seem to be the case at all. Anyway, coming up on Hometown Sports, join us and follow us on X and Instagram, Hometown BAK. We will be right back.
And welcome back to Hometown Sports. The Mira Monte Cinderella story has been nothing short of special this postseason, playing for their first ever section championship, coming in Division 6 as the 12th seed. All games have been on the road, and they made you believe last week when they knocked off top seed in Minarets via last-second field goal. However, they wouldn't have the same faith when they faced number 3 Lindsay for the section title. Let's take you to the action. Teams meeting at the 50-yard line, and the Lions running out, opening possession of the game, and Julian Ceballos delivers the stick in the backfield. Lions would punt. Cardinals' first offensive play of the game. Jose Cortez is going to break tackles and break free. Nobody's going to catch him. He is gone. 7-0. Lindsay out on top early on. Ensuing drive. Cue Nathan Gonzalez. And he is going to drive the pile. That's what he does. Picks up some good yardage. However, a few plays later, Mira Monte goes through the air, and it is picked off by Julian Ceballos. Let's take another look. Promising drive, ending in a turnover. Julian Ceballos jumping in front of the pass. However, ensuing drive here, Fabian Carrillo is going to fill the gap with a big hit. We're going to move on to the second quarter, where Jose Fernandez gets it, bounces it to the outside. And he is going to get pushed out inside the 5. Now in goal range, Jose Cortez is going to punch it in for the Cardinals. Yet another touchdown. Let's take another look. It's Cortez's second touchdown on the night. Cardinals lead 14-0. Ensuing kickoff. Some life for the Lions as they would need it. Ashton Kimball back deep. And he is going to take things to the outside. Gets a nice return. Going to get tackled at about the 50. And Mira Monte would end up facing a 4th down. The trick play. But the Cards sniff it out. Wow. Will result in a turnover on downs. The very next play, J.J. Gareka on the end around. And he is going to get a big gain. Brought down at about the 15. A few plays later, Uriah Guerrero is going to keep it himself on the QB option. And he finds an opening. And he gets to the corner of the end zone for the touchdown. Lindsay leads 21-0. And that is your score at the half. And 21-0 is your score at the half. We're going to head to the third quarter. Lindsay fumbles the snap, and Miramonte's Anthony Navarro would recover. However, the very next play, disaster striking for the Lions. The stop in the backfield, and Nathan Gonzalez down and slow to get up. Let's take another look. Leading rusher in the central section to this point. Hits the turf hard. He would stay down, left the game due to injury, and did not return. 4th down we go. And the pass to the end zone, ruled incomplete. Defended well by Gabriel Aguayo onto the 4th quarter. And Ethan Cortez squeezes through the gap. He's going to pick up nice yardage inside Lion territory. And they're going to go back to him on the toss on the other side. Get some good yardage, but it's hit hard by Andre Page. 2 plays later, Uriah Guerrero on the play action finds a wide open Jose Fernandez in the end zone. Let's take another look. Fools everybody, almost our cameraman too. The diving touchdown grab, 28-0. Lindsay extends their lead. Lions ball, and the quarterback nowhere to go, so he would get sacked. And Lindsay would eventually run out the clock to go on to win the Central Section Division 6 title, shutting out Mira Monte 28-0. Mira Monte's magical season coming to an end.
Losing sucks. There's just not losing sucks. My hat's off to Lindsay, man. They played a heck of a football game. We just couldn't really match their intensity on some things. I think we did some things well, but we just made too many mistakes in the end. But I'm happy for my boys. They battled. I wouldn't trade them in for anybody. I love my kids. I love my school. I love the East Side support that we've gotten this whole run, and hopefully we'll be back.
Definitely a season to remember for Mira Monte. 28-0 is the final score, which means Lindsay will be at Chatsworth in the Division 7 AA South Regional Semis. Both teams 9-5. That one will be on Friday at 7:30.
All right, it is time for yet another break. Coming up, we are going to check out some of the brackets. We've got, of course, down around the corner, we got some BC football for you as well, the Patriotic Bowl, and so much more. And we'll take a look back at those Frontier Titans who are in the state playoffs. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Hometown Sports. The Frontier Titans using the past week to celebrate their first section title in Frontier football history and prepare for the state playoffs. Remember that? First, a quick look back at their road to state, taking you back to their game against BHS at Griffith Stadium. And Brady Campbell starting things off early. rolling out. Showed it to you twice that snap. It was such a good snap to Kobe Watson. It's 6-0 Titans on top. Then Campbell to Sangbe Jinyu. And the break of 2 tackles, turning on the Jets. And that's a touchdown. Broke the plane. Fumble was covered by Malcolm Watkins anyway. 14-0 in favor of the Titans. And then Logan Slayton tripping up the running back. Frustration in the drillers. Then Campbell to Sangbe Jinyu again for a score. And you wonder why the long faces? Well, at halftime, 24-0 Frontier on top. Let's go to the second half. The Titans used 8 minutes on that first drive. That was as much important as the score. And yeah, they got a fortunate bounce right here, recovering a loose ball in the end zone for a 31-0 lead. BHS turned to freshman quarterback Marcus Gomez. Somehow, some way, stayed in bounds and got into the end zone. 31-6. But the defense too strong. Sangbe Jinyu with 5 breakups, also this interception. And then it was just a matter of time before the celebration would begin. Got the coach with the bath. The Titans celebrating as they make history, hoisting Central Section hardware for the first time in Titans football history.
A chance to keep playing with this group is everything. You know, this is a special group, and I'm just so happy to get to keep going.
And this is incredible. This is I only got one shot at this, and I think this is extremely important for not only us as a team, but school history.
Oh, it means a lot. We've been talking about this the whole school, it's around the whole school, and just winning this, being the first, it's one of the history books, so it's great.
It's amazing to make history at this school and, come here and just win a championship. It's amazing, make history.
You guys are now legends in Frontier High School history.
All right, so again, Frontier wins it by a final of 31-14. And what does that mean? They learned today they are going to be home this Friday against Murrieta Mesa. That's the Rams of Murrieta Mesa coming in the 3AA state playoffs. If you're asking yourself, you look at this right here, BCHS is in the 2 Division 2, they're Division 3, they're 9 spots higher than Frontier in the state rankings, and therefore that's why you find 1 and 2 and 1 in 3. So that's where we are right now with our rankings. Once again, check us out on X and Instagram at Hometown BAK. Coming up, Hometown Sports. We'll check out more of what's going on in the other divisions and what happened in Division 3 and Division 5, where we didn't have any local teams, but we had Central Section action. That's coming up next.
And welcome back to Hometown Sports. Rounding out the remainder of the divisions in the Central Section, let's take a look at some of the results in Divisions 3 and Divisions 5. Division 3, Kerman takes down Madera 42-28. Wow. Meanwhile, in Division 5, we got Selma beating Morro Bay 32-28. Selma coming off a win against Delano. And let's look at the matchups. We have Division 2A BCHS, like we showed earlier, on the road at Palos Verdes. And in Division 3 AA South, Frontier will host Murrieta Mesa, both teams with 4 losses. Division 1A in Central will have a home game against St.
Ignatius.
Ignatius. Yeah. And so Central beating Liberty, Clovis North, and Clovis East, all in the same playoffs. Division 4 AA, Coalinga coming off a win at Shafter, having a home game against Highland. And Division 4A, Kerman will be on the road at Sonora. That should be a good matchup. Division 5A, we have Selma at Palmdale of Southern California. In Division 7A, we have Lindsay coming off a win against Mira Monte. They'll be on the road at Chatsworth.
Yeah, we'll be on the road checking out BCHS, of course, on Saturday. Got the home game against Frontier. We'll keep an update on what's going on with all the Central Section teams as well. And by the way, even though we'll talk about it later in the show, we tape our final shows, you well know because you'll be there, this Wednesday. We'll tape the majority of the show Wednesday at the Convention Center. Everybody is welcome to come, by the way. It's 7 o'clock at the Convention Center. And then we air it next Sunday at 6 o'clock instead of 5. So we have a 6 o'clock show next week instead of 5 o'clock. So we'll do all of that. But coming up, it's time for another break. We're going to look ahead to BC football, plus our players of the week, And we'll hear from R. Todd Littlejohn after his release as head coach of the BC Renegades. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Hometown Sports. Greg Kerr alongside Myles Boyns. BC Renegades head football coach R. Todd Littlejohn called this season the season of close. Boy, was he right. Close game after close game, the Renegades losing 4 regular season games this season by a combined 9 points. The Gades closing out their season at the Patriotic Bowl against Saddleback College, and of course, we were there as we take you to Mission Viejo. First quarter, no score. The Gades driving right down the field. Malachi Statler to Devin Sundgren. So a Frontier product to a Shatter product. 7-0 Gades on top. Early second quarter tied 7-7. Trey Kukuk to Christian Guarasio. 17-yard screen, 14-7 Bobcats. Later second quarter, now 21-10. Jalen Hankins, Liberty Product scores. It's 21-16. But watch this catch by Dane Benedict's getting a foot down with 13 seconds to play in the half. And that was your last score of the half, obviously. It was 28-16 Saddleback at the half. The Renegades, do they have another comeback in them? Here we go. Third quarter, now 35-16, a 19-point deficit. And that's when Malachi Statler finds Jalen Richmond at a 2-point conversion, 35-24. Gades get the ball back. They're back in the end zone. Jay Daniels Nettles, another 2-point conversion. It's 35-32. Gades got it going. Ensuing kickoff. Will Craven takes it at his own 3. Goes right up the middle. Gets to the second level. Only the kicker to beat. And well, that was taken care of. 97 yards for the score. It's 42-32. And that was your score at the end of the third quarter. Now 48-38. Malachi Statler, 24 yards to Makai Smith, who wins the jump ball. Great catch. Statler, by the way, goes for 360 yards and 3 touchdowns, but not enough as they fall by a final of 48-45. But in a season of close calls, the Gades did again come up short by a field goal.
I'm just really proud of the guys for battling back, though. They didn't have to, and they did. They competed, which has been, a theme all year. It's unfortunate that they made a couple more plays than we did, literally.
All right, so one day after that Patriotic Bowl, Wednesday to be exact, Coach Littlejohn joining me on my radio show, noon to 2, 12:30 a.m., 101.1 FM, in case you want to listen in, as we broke down the Patriotic Bowl and a season which saw them lose 5 games by a combined 12 points. He concluded our conversation by breaking some news as I asked him to look ahead to next season. What's a need for next season?
Well, I'm going to break some news to you. So I just spoke to the team about this. So
Yes.
You're the first to know in terms of anyone else outside of my family and the players and the coaches. I will not return next year. I was told that they are moving in another direction.
Wow.
And so, yeah, I met this morning, and I made it very clear I wanted to be here, for as long as I can possibly be here, but not the direction that they're going. And so I coached my last game as a Renegade head football coach.
All right, so that's first of all, he's a classy guy to begin with, but to come on and break that news when he really didn't have to and just share that with us, and of course his team as his tenure as head coach comes to an end. But R. Todd was just a solid guy through and through. BC officials will now go about their search or whatever they're going to do. One name pops up, Seth Dameron, because he has former head coaching experience at Allen Hancock, and he's on the staff as offensive coordinator, but that's for BC officials to take care of, not for us to speculate, but it's a name that obviously pops up first time around. But your thoughts on R. Todd's news?
Yeah, I was definitely surprised, especially when you broke it to me, because they were on the upward trend. I know he got hired in January of 2020. They didn't play that season due to COVID, but it's a little rough start, but then it started to pick up upward more, and then you see the evolution of their offense,
right?
Especially this season. And this past season, like you said, lost 5 games, but it was a combined 12 points. So it just literally a field goal changes the trajectory.
An extra point,
each
a 2-point conversion that just was short of the pylon. There were 3 games that were walk-off games on the last play of the game. That's how close they were to a very, very good season. But Again, our Todd Littlejohn out as head coach of the BC Renegades. We certainly wish him and his family well, and we'll give you news of BC's situation with the head coach as soon as they make that information available. It is time now for our Players of the Week, sponsored by Brimhall Dental Group, committed to providing quality health care to you and your family. Our Brimhall Dental Group Offensive Player of the Week, BCHS running back Talon Mather. In a rematch of the Milk Bowl rivals, Mather cutting through the Central Valley defense. Look at this right here, scoring 2 of the Eagles' 4 touchdowns against Central Valley Christian to help Darren Carr's Eagles to a 28-7 win. Talon Mather of BCHS is our Brimhall Dental Group Offensive Player of the Week.
Our Brimhall Dental Group Defensive Player or Players of the Week, a pair of guys from BCHS. John Heath, a beast in the Central Valley Christian backfield, and while Heath was patrolling the front line, Avery Jaramillo leading the Eagles linebackers, also getting into the Cavaliers backfield. Heath and Jaramillo leading an Eagles defense that held Central Valley Christian to just 7 points, and for the second week in a row pits a second half shutout. John Heath and Avery Jaramillo of BCHS are our Brimhall Dental Group Defensive Players of the Week.
And why not a trifecta or maybe a quartet, since there were 2 on defense? Our Brimhall Dental Group Special Teams Player of the Week, sticking to all things BCHS. Cohen Peters, one of the best kickers in the area, converting all 4 of his extra points, adding a couple of touchbacks like this on kickoffs. Cohen Peters of BCHS is our Brimhall Dental Group Special Teams Player of the Week. Coming up next, our game-saving play, our Athlete of the Week, brought to you by Brian Hicks Real Estate Group, and Youth Football, brought to you by Golden Empire Youth Football. Hometown Sports, we'll be right back. Welcome back to Hometown Sports. Time for our game-saving play, sponsored by us. Here we go. Let's take you what's happening in game-saving play. This week's game-saving play, Coalinga at Shafter. Shafter thrown to the end zone, and Dylan Teixeira comes away with the interception. Who else? He had a great game. Dylan Teixeira of Coalinga with our game-saving play of the week.
Time for our Athlete of the Week, sponsored by Brian Hicks Real Estate Group, saving clients thousands. Numbers don't lie. This week's Athlete of the Week, speaking of Coalinga, Dylan Teixeira, a 2-way starter for the Horned Toads. Teixeira hauled in 3 touchdown passes, including a long of 74 yards right here and a key interception on defense. Dylan Teixeira of Coalinga is our Brian Hicks Real Estate Group Athlete of the Week.
Another successful season of Golden Empire Youth Football is complete. They will appear on our final show to present their Youth Coach of the Year award. Golden Empire Youth Football athletes are born every day, or I should say athletes are born every day. Champions are made right here, right now. Right now, we're going to give you a glance, again, at the state brackets involving teams from the Central section, and start out with 2A South, BCHS against Palos Verdes, the game at South Torrance High School if you want to go. BCHS is ranked 80th in the state. Palos Verdes is ranked 68th in the state. In Division 3AA South, we have Frontier hosting Murrieta Mesa. The Rams come into town. Frontier is ranked 89th, Murrieta Mesa 101. So those are the 2 games involving our locals. In 1A North, St. Ignatius will be at Central of Fresno. St. Ignatius is ranked 31st in the state. Central is ranked 22nd. In 4A South, Highland is at Coalinga. Highland is ranked 153 in the state. Coalinga 158, but they gave a nod to his 14-0 record, as you can imagine, Miles, to give them a home game. So Coalinga will be at home. In 4A North, Kerman at Sonora. Kerman is ranked 178th. Sonora at 119. In 5A South, Selma is at Palmdale. Selma is ranked 394 in the state. Palmdale ranked at 333. And finally, in 7AA South, Lindsay at Chatsworth. Lindsay is ranked 534. Chatsworth, 655, but still has a home game, despite being about 120 notches below Lindsay in the state rankings. Any of those games knock your socks off in terms of what you're looking for?
I'm curious to see the BCHS game, the Frontier game, obviously, and how Central will do against the rest of the state. Central having a great playoff run, like I said, beating Liberty, then beating Clovis North, then beating Clovis East. So arguably in the Central section, Central has had the toughest road, and they got the job done.
Yeah. We'll see how that comes out on the other side. And again, we'll have predictions coming up later. But coming up, our Stockdale Podiatry Group exciting play of the week, our hits of the week with a little tongue-in-cheek there, sponsored by Raymond's Trophies and Awards. An important message for all our hometown All-Stars, plus our accelerated urgent care Scholar of the Week information as well. We'll be right back.
And welcome back to Hometown Sports. Now for our exciting play of the week, brought to you by Stockdale Podiatry Group. We treat your feet. This week's exciting play. Rivalry games bring lifelong memories, and Robert Hernandez has one. With Central Valley Christian throwing to the end zone, Hernandez comes up with the interception. The Eagles defense stifling the Cavaliers offense, holding them to just 7 points. Robert Hernandez of BCHS with our Stockdale Podiatry Group exciting play of the week.
All right, it's time for our Hits of the Week, brought to you by Raymond's Trophies and Awards. An award is so much more than an award, it's a memory. Now this week, we're going to actually look back and have a little fun. Quick reminder, we will name our Hitman of the Year during the taping of our final show this Wednesday night at the Convention Center. Everyone is welcome, 7 p.m. is the time. All right, so a little fun. This game at Kern Valley. Our photographer, LJ, just doing his job. And almost getting run over in the process.
Glad it wasn't me this year.
Yeah, he steamed out of harm's way. You took one in Lemoore a couple years ago, didn't you?
Yeah. I took one at BCHS the year before.
Yeah, okay, anyway, give it up to LJ. All right, next up, Ridgeview at BHS. Linebackers always have to cover crossing patterns in the middle. They just didn't know they'd run into the umpire. Oh, my goodness. Going down there. It's even tougher when you run into the ump, right? Can't cover that guy. But the good news for BHS, the pass was incomplete. And this year's best flop, that would be Wasco center Damian Santos going down here against Tulare Western. He played it for all it was worth. I mean, he barely got touched, but he went down. Hey, he got the flag, right? It worked. They got a first down. Perfect move by Damian Santos as Wasco got the ball and continued the drive. So a quick reminder, our Raymond's Trophies and Awards Hitman of the Year will be named this Wednesday during the taping of a final show. Family, friends are invited to attend. The taping begins at 7 p.m. It will air next Sunday again at a special time of 6 p.m. And I'll say it again for those of you in the back of the room. Wednesday's taping is 7 p.m. at the Convention Center on Wednesday again. Sunday's finale will air at 6 p.m. right here on Fox 58.
And time for our Hometown All-Stars. Emails are going out to your coaches as we speak to let you know if you have been selected as a Hometown All-Star. If you're on the list, this is what you need to know. Remember, December 4th at the Convention Center. Please arrive at 6:30 if you are a Hometown All-Star. And wear
we're feeding them, too.
Jersey.
We're feeding them, so get there.
We are feeding you pizza as well. And family, friends, and coaches, once again, are all welcome.
Yeah, we want to get everybody out there, and again, we just want to pack the places as we have a good time out there. The Convention Center does a great job hosting for us. So, and we're going to have some of the guys, once again, from back in the 80s of Hometown All-Stars. They're going to come out and make some presentations. Guys like Steve Wofford, Jeff Bucky, who went to the NFL and blocked for Dan Marino. So we're going to have some great names out there just making the presentations. So past meets present, and that'll be fun as well. So we hope you can get out there for that. Now it's time for our Scholar Athlete of the Week, brought to you by Accelerated Urgent Care. Tonight we give you a list, once again, of our finalists of the winners during our final show, again, December 4th. One young man will walk away as our Scholar of the Year. Let's break it down for you who we have. Jaden Hernandez of Centennial High School, Parker Dolan of Liberty, Kenny Pitt of Tehachapi, Tyler Ayala of Frontier. You have Camden Dockery of North, Bryce Smoot of Kern Valley. Elsewhere, we got about 7 other guys. A.J. Jones of South High, Ian Ortiz of Ridgeview, Max Wisnoff of BCHS. By the way, all of these guys way smarter than me. Nathan Avila of West High, Alex Newkirk of East High, Christopher Espinoza of Shafter, and finally, the 13th and final. We had 13 weeks, 13 guys, and certainly we'd love to get to all the schools, but we only have so many shows. Jack Hopkins of BHS. And again, we'll make that presentation Wednesday as well. Are you ready for some predictions?
I am ready for some
Even for some games that we don't know the teams that well. Okay, we got the 2 teams that we know, and that we'll talk BCHS and Frontier, but we got some other games just to eat up some time and tell you what we have going on. And congratulations once again to Mira Monte and Shafter. I know the disappointment still stings a little bit, ending in their seasons this past week, but congratulations for a great job on both those staffs and all those players, and hope that you enjoy the holidays despite the fact of what happened this past week. Frontier BCHS, we wish you the best. We'll be back with our predictions in a moment. And welcome back to Hometown Sports. It is time for predictions. We got about 7 games that we're going to be talking about, and probably all 7. We have no clue what we're talking about because we don't know some of the opponents, but we do know some of the rankings, so we'll go there. Let's start off with the 2A South BCHS against Palos Verdes. Again, this game, as you can see, at South Torrance High School. It is a Saturday game. Some games are Friday, some games are Saturday. We'll point them out to you, but just make sure if you're going to any of these games that you know exactly where you're going and what day you're going. BCHS is ranked 80th in the state. Palos Verdes 68th. What say you?
BCHS, obviously we don't know too much about Palos Verdes,
Right.
but BCHS, especially that defense, there's just something about that defense that's so special, let alone the second half, just second half shutout after shutout after shutout. And I talked to Darren Carr about, what makes that defense so special, and it's just the adjustments that they're able to make, especially, in-game adjustments on the fly, being able to adapt to the right personnel. So that's where it starts championships. And meanwhile, you have Ethan Eccles and Talon Mather being able to run Lincoln Adame, quarterback back there. He's not only getting Andre Calderon involved, but he's also getting Jason Gutierrez and Mike Smith as well. They have a lot of dynamic players, and a lot of them are strong. They may not be the biggest guys, but they are strong. They can break tackles, they can brace themselves, and they can take some hits.
What we do know about Palos Verdes is they live in a really nice neighborhood. That we know. Let's go to 3AA South. Frontier will be hosting Murrieta Mesa. They are the Rams. Frontier coming in ranked 89th in the state. Murrieta Mesa, this according to Max Preps, by the way, all these numbers at 101. Frontier, I tell you what, Miles, they have just improved. Their defense has been rock solid tough for the last 5 weeks.
Yeah, especially against BHS, shutting them out in the first half. I don't think most people did not see that coming. And Frontier, they arguably played their best football when they needed to the most, and now they have to step it up again. Frontier being Division III, I don't think a lot of people saw that coming, especially all the Division I competition they played earlier in the season, going toe-to-toe with Liberty, starting their season on the road at Oak Ridge, then just having that road stretch, definitely a road stretch that was very difficult for them, but I think Frontier, it's definitely made them better, and I think Chris Brandy would probably say stuff along the lines on that road stretch in the beginning of the year has kind of made what this team has turned into now.
Yeah, it certainly has. All right, let's run through some of the games involving just Central Section teams. You got Central ranked 22nd in the state, hosting St. Ignatius 31st. It should just be a whale of a game.
Yeah, definitely. St. Ignatius, always one of the top teams in the state. Central coming to their groove near the second half of the season, only losing to Clovis East and Clovis North in the regular season in very close games. I believe the Clovis North was a 3-point game, and then getting their revenge back in the postseason by 2 possessions, by the way, not just 1 possession victories over those, and then also beating Liberty. Liberty always one of the top Central teams. So Central is just in a groove right now. I like their running back a lot, Brandon Smith, and I like their receiver, Dalen Scott, a lot. Both have been multiple-year starters on that varsity level. All
right, let's go 4A South Highland at Coalinga. Highland's 153 in the rankings. Coalinga 158. They gave a nod to that 14-0 record. Give the Horned Toads a home game. I know what that place is going to be rocking in Coalinga.
Yeah, it looked like it was rocking that Shasta.
Yes, it was.
Too. They brought their own DJ, and you see all the crowd shots, and Coalinga, especially Teixeira, that dude is special.
Yeah.
He is special. That's all I can really say about him.
Yeah. Let's go 4A North, Kerman at Sonora. Kerman is ranked 179, Sonora 119. And as you can see, both teams acquitted themselves well with 12-2 and 11-2 records, respectively. So that should be a quality game as well. 5A South is Selma at Palmdale. Selma's ranked 394, Palmdale 333. Not much the styles might be different. Selma's big and they love to run. Palmdale's usually that way. So I see this one just being a slobber knocker between these two teams, both at 9 and 5. 7AA, the last game we have 7AA South, I should say, is Lindsay at Chatsworth. Lindsay is ranked 534, Chatsworth at 655, but they get a home game, both teams 9 and 5. Lindsay, you lose Nathan Gonzalez, that certainly doesn't help, but it was 21-0 before they lost him. They did a really a good number on Mira Monte, who just had a terrific season, but the defense of the Cardinals really stepped up.
Yeah, definitely that secondary. They cued in on, obviously, Mira Monte's run game because that's their strength, but their Mira Monte's pass game couldn't really get anything going. They have a very athletic secondary, very disciplined, as well as a lot of running attacks, too, like Jose Cortez, and you had Jose Fernandez as well. Like, they had a lot of really good weapons they can beat you with.
All right, so that's what we have on tap for the state playoffs. Again, we will be on the road with BCHS. We'll be at home, of course, with Frontier, with the two local teams that are playing in the state playoffs. For now, we'll wrap things up and say goodbye. Quick reminder, we tape our final show Wednesday at the Convention Center. Everyone's welcome at 7 p.m. And our final show next week right here is at 6 p.m. instead of 5, 6 p.m. instead of 5. We'll show you some BCHS highlights in their win over Central Valley Christian as we say goodbye. For Miles, I'm Greg. Have a great night. Or maybe we won't.
Hometown Sports was sponsored by Alpha Technologies and Alarm Systems, Little Caesars, Mercedes-Benz of Bakersfield, Valley Strong Credit Union, and Golden Empire Transit.